vicious against rappers, they all look the same to him. They used to beg him not to egg him on Halloween. He told him holler back with the suede Pumas, dollar green. Nah, I mean, heat it up till the temperature tarball. Y'all just gawk like gargoyle.
It's been a little minute since I've reacted to something spooky. Let's get it. The most sadistic cult in American history. Cults always just like really pique my interest, bro, because it's just like, it's crazy how they form. It's crazy how they operate, how they target specifically people who are down on their luck, who are having terrible ruts in life and stuff. It's insane, bro. It's a surprisingly effective system. I don't know, but let's go.
In the early 1980s,
the video is by Saturn Soul. Shout out to you, bro.
The city of Chicago was plagued by a nightmarish series of horrific serial murders. After being chosen at random, the victims were kidnapped, mutilated, often murdered, then dumped in various locations around the city.
Damn, it ain't even been 30 seconds. You already talking about mutilation? Jesus.
Mutilated, often murdered, then dumped in various locations around the city.
These niggas was twerking.
What you're about to hear is extremely disturbing and is most certainly not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
This
is your last warning, because I'm not stopping.
The story of the Ripper Crew.
The Ripper Crew. I think I've heard about this before. Maybe. The Ripper Crew, Chicago, Illinois, 1980. The 80s was a wild time. I ain't gonna lie though, I heard the cocaine back then was pure. I ain't gonna lie, if I was in the 80s, I would try coke once. Only because it was the cleanest it was ever.
On May 23rd of 1981, 28-year-old Linda Sutton was declared missing by deeply concerned relatives. Just 10 days later, her mutilated corpse was found in a field in the Chicago suburb of Villa Park.
Jesus.
Whoever had killed her had taken the time to slice off her left breast as a trophy of their grisly endeavor.
Yeah, niggas is definitely tweaked out, bro. Let me lock in. This is crazy.
The following year, during the early morning of May 15th of 1982, Lorraine Borofsky was opening up her realtor's office when she was snatched right off the street.
Are you about to tell me that the only victims were just women? So these niggas were like lonely and horny and shit?
5 months later, her body was found lying on top of a grave in a Clarendon Hills cemetery, also with the left breast removed.
What the fuck?
2 weeks later, a woman by the name of Shui Mack was abducted from Hanover Park. And when her body was found 4 months later, police were forced to accept that they had a serial killer on their hands when they found that the same gruesome amputation had been performed.
Jesus. I ain't gonna lie, the only reason why these niggas were able to do this in the 80s is because DNA testing wasn't as strong and there wasn't as many cameras. You ain't gonna find niggas doing this nowadays. Yo ass probably just gonna get shot, I'm not gonna lie.
Just a few weeks later, the killer struck again, dragging a young woman named Angel York into his van before he handcuffed her.
Jesus.
Miraculously, Angel wasn't murdered, but suffered horrific injuries when the killer slashed at her left breast with a knife before tossing her out of the moving van.
What is up with grabbing the left breast, bro?
Angel was in the hospital when she was interviewed by the Chicago police detectives who were assigned to the murders, and it was then that she told them something truly chilling. The killer wasn't just some lone maniac targeting vulnerable females. He was being assisted by up to 3 additional accomplices.
Jesus. It took 4 of y'all just to kidnap one woman? I'm not gonna lie, y'all are some weak ass niggas.
Angel was able to provide...
That's not me saying that, you know what, let me stop. That sounded crazy coming out my mouth.
...detailed descriptions of each of the suspects. But while detectives were scouring the profiles of known criminals, they were able to kill again. On August 28th of 1982, the body of Sandra Delaware was discovered on the bank of the Chicago River. She had been strangled and stabbed to death, and just like the other victims, her left breast was amputated. This was followed by the discovery of 31-year-old Rose Davis's body on September 8th. She had suffered identical injuries to the other victims, with the same signature amputation having been performed.
What the fuck?
There wasn't a break in the investigation until December 6th of 1982, when a woman named Beverly Washington was found lying unconscious by a railroad track. She had multiple stab wounds and her left breast had been cut off, but somehow she was still alive. Once she regained consciousness, she was able to give highly detailed descriptions not just of the suspects, but also of the vehicle they were using to abduct their victims.
Shout out to you. You probably single-handedly saved many more lives.
The van was traced to a man named David Gecht, who was promptly arrested on suspicion of murder. Police believed they'd be able to collate sufficient evidence to convict him during his initial period of detention.
Y'all ain't have the technology like that back then, my boy.
Yet to their frustration, they fell short and were forced to release Gecht after just a few days. Following his release, detectives worked night and day in order to compile more evidence, and Gecht's undoing finally came in the form of a motel receipt. Police were able to track down the motel's owner, who gave a lengthy testimony detailing Gecht's stay at his establishment.
Always follow the money, always.
He had rented 3 adjoining rooms with 2 friends of his, holding a loud, raucous party late into the night. But that wasn't all. The detectives were deeply unsettled to hear that the motel owner believed Gecht to be involved in some type of cult. After hearing that Gecht was the main suspect in a murder case, the motel owner happily provided police with the names of his friends, those being Edward Spreitzer and 2 brothers named Andrew and Thomas Cocorellis.
These niggas just look like losers, I'm gonna be so honest.
After the police picked up Thomas
Especially this one, bro. This nigga looks like a goofy.
Cocorellis, they forced him to confess that he and the others had taken women back to Gecht's motel room. How the man himself referred to the motel as a satanic chapel.
Yeah, you're just a loser, bro. He probably thought he got so much aura from that. No, my nigga, you're just a lame.
It was there that they drove their kidnapped victims after snatching them from off the street. And although the motel owner had heard loud music coming from the men's rooms, it was merely a way of drowning out the women's screams as they were beaten, violated, and murdered and mutilated. Thomas Cocorellis claimed that David Gecht was the one responsible for the breast amputation. After removing them from his deceased victims, Gecht would slice off pieces of the amputated breast before eating them raw, telling the others it was a kind of satanic ritual that they should also partake of.
Yeah, where's Satan now? Because he's definitely not gonna get y'all out of jail.
Following this, he would place the severed breasts in a sealed box. Thomas Cocorellis claimed to have personally witnessed the contents of this box and claimed that there were no less than 15 severed breasts in it. He also claimed that Gecht would have his way with the dead bodies of his deceased victims. Gecht was clearly a maniac, but he was also highly intelligent and managed to conceal enough evidence that it was impossible to directly charge him with murder. Only because
of the lack of DNA testing that they probably had back then, bro. DNA testing is a fairly recent thing, okay?
Instead, he was charged with attempted murder, aggravated kidnapping, and deviant assaults for the attack of Beverly Washington, and was convicted in 1983. Before sentencing him to 120 years in prison, Judge Francis J. Mahone told Gecht, not even an animal would do these things, only a devil or a monster would.
Cook them. I love it whenever the judges cook the criminals.
Next,
this nigga looked like he just dumb.
Came the trials of Gecht's 3 accomplices, starting with Edward Spreitzer in 1984.
He was probably the bone.
Spreitzer admitted that on October 6th of 1982, the gang shot 28-year-old Rafael Tirado and his friend Alberto Rosario at a phone booth in a random drive-by shooting.
Wow.
According to Spreitzer, he was driving Gecht's van with Gecht in the passenger seat when he was ordered to slow down. Gecht then took 2 guns from a rear seat, told Spreitzer to stop the van, then opened fire on Tirado and Rosario. Rosario survived being shot, but tragically, Tirado succumbed to his wounds at the hospital in the hours that followed.
Rest in peace, bro.
In a bid to
all the victims.
Avoid the death penalty, Spreitzer pled guilty to the murders of 4 of the gang's victims.
I be feeling like whenever you get caught and it's like 100% proven that it's you, I be wanting them to have done onto them what they did to others. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I be wanting the eye for eye treatment for some of these niggas, because they be doing all of this, but then they would turned into bitches if they even had to put up with even 50, like not even like 5% of the pain that they've dealt out.
As well as on the lesser charges of attempted murder and aggravated kidnapping. During the sentencing phase, Spreitzer's attorney argued that he was a junior member of the Ripper crew and was acting purely on the orders of David Gecht.
How are you able to be an attorney for some fucking freaks like this, bro? I'll never understand it. I understand why you need it, because you need to have a fair trial so you can get your ass locked up for real, and no appeals or whatever. But how do you do it as a defense lawyer? Like, when somebody is clearly guilty, how do you do it? I don't get it.
She claims Spreitzer was immature, impulsive, and simplistic.
That don't mean... What? We're talking about women who had their breasts chopped off. I don't give a damn if you're impulsive.
A man who...
Don't ever make me a judge, bro. I will be sentencing niggas to death by bear.
Would do almost anything to please his friend. The prosecution, on the other hand, called Spreitzer every woman's worst nightmare, and labeled his accomplices cowardly weasels who roamed in packs to prey on women.
Exactly. That's what I was saying, bro. Like, it's crazy. Y'all have to get the jump on them too. They probably could get their asses whooped by some women that were aware.
Attempt was successful, and the judicial system took mercy on him, sentencing him to life in prison without the possibility of parole as opposed to the death penalty.
I guess that's okay.
In 1985, it was Andrew Kokorales' turn to be convicted of murder, assault, and aggravated kidnapping.
This nigga look like the type of dude that would be peeping at you.
The prosecution once again sought a death sentence, yet during the sentencing phase, Kokorales' defense attorney took a similar approach as Spreitzer's, claiming that his client had been a follower, not an organizer.
It don't matter. It don't matter, bro. No. You too damn grown to let somebody convince you to just brutally beat and murder somebody, bro. You can't just say my fault. Like, I don't care.
Once again, the tactic worked, and the jury spared Andrew's life after deliberating for just an hour and a half.
The jury needs to, I ain't gonna lie, some of these juries need to start tightening the hell up and start saying, no, bro, this nigga needs to have all his arms and limbs tied to individual cars and they slam on the gas pedals.
Instead of receiving the death penalty, he too was sentenced to life in prison without parole. However, 2 years later, Andrew was tried for the death of Lorraine Borofsky.
Oh, yeah. I'm forgetting that they weren't tried for the actual murders of these women. They were being tried for attempted murder because there wasn't enough evidence to pin it on them.
And the details of her kidnapping, violation, and murder were too much for the court to hear.
Yeah, that's what I was about to... Okay, that changes everything. Yeah. I forgot they weren't being tried for the actual murders because they didn't have no evidence for it. So was this like the first time somebody actually got tried for an actual murder?
It was convincingly argued that Andrew had engaged in inappropriate actions with a dead body. And in light of this, and many other perverse details, he was sentenced to death.
Yeah, I bet that boy was shivering in his boots during that trial. I wish I could have seen that.
On the day that he was due to be executed, Andrew declined the offer of a last meal, with his last words being, "To the Borofsky family, I am truly sorry for your loss. I mean this sincerely."
Boy, shut up.
He then
all them damn victims. There was literally a box full of chopped off breasts. I don't want to hear it. Respectfully, I would, as the family, I would say put duct tape on his mouth, bro. You know.
Cited a verse from the Bible: "Repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand." As a reward for his detailed confession, Thomas Kokorales also managed to avoid the death penalty. At the time of his arrest,
they should force all three of the accomplices to watch. I think that's fair. Real talk, I think that's fair. Sit them all in a room, have them all sitting in a chair, and then when you turn on that electric chair, they all gotta watch their accomplice get fried, get his brain scrambled, like a burnt egg. Let them see how they feel after that.
Thomas Kokorales was a painter with no criminal record, meaning his trial judge took a degree of mercy on him that his accomplices did not receive.
That's crazy.
With an IQ of 75, he was described as having a borderline range of intellect.
Okay. Not forgivable, but it's understandable why he got more leniency.
and was said to be more motivated by fear than any kind of perverted desire. Thomas pled guilty to Borofsky's murder, taking the death penalty off the table in exchange for a 70-year jail sentence. But following good behavior and a successful parole, he was released from prison on March 29, 2019.
I'll put his ass right back.
As of June 30th, 2019, Thomas resides in Aurora, Illinois. And in an interview with a local news station, Thomas begged the public to change the perception of him, stating, "Everybody thinks I'm a monster, but I'm not a monster."
Boy, shut up. You look like an agitated thumb. Be glad all they're calling you is a monster.
Despite his pleas, it's both perfectly reasonable and understandable to view Thomas Kokoraleis as a profane and predatory monster.
Yeah.
After all, he was a willing participant in some of the most heinous and horrific murders the city of Chicago has ever known.
Your IQ, it wasn't that low. It wasn't low enough for where people can be like, okay, let's forgive him. No, sir. No, sir.
Thomas was well aware that David Gecht was practicing cannibalism and inappropriate actions with dead bodies.
Exactly.
All in the name of Satan.
Yeah, slow down.
And he didn't do a thing to stop it. His moral grandstanding means nothing when he allowed dozens of innocent women to be subjected to some of the most despicable treatment imaginable.
Exactly.
The legacy of the Ripper crew is the stuff of nightmares, something that none of us are sure to forget in a hurry. But unlike similar cases, there is no comfort to be taken in knowing that the perpetrators are all behind bars or 6 feet under. And that's because a member of one of the world's most horrific snuff gangs is free to walk among us, having caused untold agony, having taken the lives of the innocent, and potentially having tasted human flesh.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Nigga try to lie and say, I'm not a monster. Boy, shut up. How could I be a monster?
Hey friends, thanks so much for watching. Just a quick heads up, I release new videos every second Tuesday at 7 p.m.
I ain't gonna lie, I thought he was about to say every second. Shout out to Saturn Soul, bro. That was cool. Yeah, them niggas was some losers, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I am not gonna lie.